Over the past few days, in fact for the past few months, there's been an ongoing discussion with regards to health care reform circulating through our politicians in Washington. Well, the most recent salvo that I encountered was the notion of requiring employers to provide benefits for their employees, or else chip into a government program. What politicians are overlooking is offering health insurance and having the people take it are two different matters. For example, I do not get my health care coverage from my employer because it would cost me about 30 to 35% of my income for the family plan. Well, my spouse is a little bit better. It's only about 15% of her paychecks in order to get health care coverage. But what if you can't afford to pony up that extra 15 or 30%? The question I have is, how many of those people which they consider to be uninsured and need government assistance are uninsured because they can't afford to be insured? Or consider another prospect. Not only are they going to compel employers to have their employees covered, or at least offered, they're going to threaten these employers with, if you don't do this to our standards, you're going to have to pony up and pay into the government system. That right there establishes a government standard for coverage and care. If your employer doesn't give you the coverage, then the government will penalize them. It's just one step on the road for a complete government takeover of health care. And of course, politicians are doing what they do best. CYA. They're trying to cover their rear ends. They make it sound good in that they're doing something out of the goodness of their hearts, when in actuality, they're only doing it for the goodness of themselves, trying to get themselves elected. They can't distinguish the notion that health insurance coverage and actually taking it are two different issues. And of course, then they also want to create some kind of public plan to take care of those that fall through the cracks. Well, what strikes me is that one of the largest employers in this country, specifically Walmart, is always getting blasted because they don't cover their employees because, well, if the employees are not full-time, they're not eligible for benefits. And there's this perception that Walmart does this deliberately so that the people will be eligible for this public Medicaid program. Consider this. If you force employers to provide coverage, or else pony into the system, isn't that just going to encourage that type of behavior by such corporate entities? Make it such that those people are not being offered health insurance by their employers. You don't have to offer them benefits. It may be cheaper for the company to let the government take care of it, which, of course, is what gets Walmart and others into trouble. Here, we're actually going to institutionalize it. Now, politicians are just trying to sound good, but they're not actually doing good.